Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom channel. If you haven't seen me for a while, it's because I've been recovering in bed for 3 weeks from a surgery. So I'm feeling weak and fat because I wasn't able to exercise, but I'm here and I'm going to try to catch up. And just so you know, all of my written reviews have still been happening on my website, which is moviereviewmom.com. And if you wondered where I was and didn't know, I wrote a little note in our community section on this channel saying what was going on. And for years, I didn't even know that existed. So, in case you didn't know, you can click on the community button and then see notes that I write for you all. Anyway, thank you so much for the kind words that some of you have left for me as I was healing and trying to recover in bed and all of that. I really appreciate it. And if you're brand new to my channel, yay, you're here. Thank you so much. My goal, just in case you don't know, is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a specific film. So the specific film I'm reviewing today is called Wish. The newest Disney animation is now playing in theaters to celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary. At some point, it'll then be featured on the Disney Plus channel. They haven't actually announced when, but it'll probably be about 45 days after this theater opening based on what they've done in the past. We'll find out soon enough. The movie is rated PG, and this is only the 8th Disney movie to be rated PG. Most of them are G. A few of them are PG-13, but anyway, I thought you'd like to know that little fun fact. The length of the movie itself is 1 hour and 35 minutes, and the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is, oh, I'm conflicted, maybe a B minus. And let me explain why. So first, in a nutshell, and then I'll give you exact things I liked and didn't like, as well as tips for parents, because you're probably wondering about the content, especially because of some of the things Disney's been pumping out in recent years. And then funny lines, interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar, or at least similar enough that I think you might like those if you haven't seen them already. All right, you ready to dive in? Me too. In a nutshell, Wish is the story about a young girl named Asha who wishes on a star and gets a more direct answer than she bargained for when a troublemaking star comes down from the sky to join her. This movie is directed by Chris Buck and Fawn Veerasunthorn and written by Jennifer Lee, Allison Moore, and Chris Buck. The movie's been designed to be a celebratory film to honor 100 years of Disney magic. Parts of it are very sweet, but I wish this movie were better. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong, but it should have been amazing to honor the genius of Walt Disney. So first, let me give you a list of things that I really liked about this movie. First, I love that Academy Award winner Ariana DeBose was selected to voice Asha. She does a great job as expected. And the name Asha means hope in the Hindi language. Hope is a very strong theme in this film. She wants to be a sorcerer's apprentice, just like Mickey Mouse did in the 1941 movie Fantasia. Did you ever see that one? She wears this special cloak that looks like the one worn by the fairy godmother in Cinderella. And she has a similar stick that becomes her wand in the end. I hope that's not a big spoiler if you've seen the trailer, but well, I don't want to say too much in case this is going to be a spoiler for you. Anyway, let me go on. I also absolutely adore Chris Pine. He also does a terrific job as King Magnifico. When it comes to musicals, he absolutely crushed his role in the movie Into the Woods. I loved him in that. And I think that might have been the first time I really heard him belt it out. And I was like, he's handsome and he's a great actor and he can sing. Wow. All of the other cast members gave good vocal performances in this animation, including Alan Tudyk. I love him. He does so many fun things. Victor Garber, Angelique Cabral, Natasha Rothwell, Harvey Guillen, Della Saba, Nico Vargas, Rami Youssef, and so many more. It's clever to create a movie about wishes for Disney's 100th anniversary, since Wish Upon a Star has been a huge marketing theme for Disney for decades. Some are even calling this new Wish movie an origin story of sorts about fairy godmothers and wishing stars. And I actually love that concept. I love that we have another musical to fall in love with. I loved the king and queen's royal outfits, and there's some symbolism on some of the images on the king's outfit in particular. There's some humor, both spoken and visual. And keep an eye out for the many Easter eggs in this movie. For example, each of Asha's seven friends was designed to represent characteristics of the seven dwarves from the epic movie Snow White, one of the original movie Snow White. And then also notice the nod to Mickey Mouse several times. For example, when the star tries to draw a Mickey Mouse head when it enters the king's study. You'll also see fireworks in the shape of Mickey Mouse ears above the castle towards the end of the movie. Look for images of Peter Pan and Mary Poppins when the king pops wishes in the cellar. Their wishes are kind of like little bubbles. The energetic songs are powerful, although not super catchy for me. I don't know if young children will be singing them for years like they did in Frozen. When I watched Frozen, the moment I heard those songs in both of the movies, I was like, oh, people are going to be singing that forever. And in this one, I was like, well, maybe there might be a couple of them. The movie was dedicated to Bernie Mattinson, who recently passed away. And I thought that that was really sweet because he worked with the Walt Disney Animation Studios for 70 years. That's amazing. Have you noticed that most of Disney's villains' evil power is represented by green light? Do you ever notice that? And watch the closing credits where you'll see drawings of many of the animated Disney movies from the past 100 years, although not all of them are represented. So now onto the list of things that I didn't like. I was a little conflicted. For example, the movie feels like a mishmash of every other Disney movie that we've ever seen. So is it a clever and respectful nod to the past? Yes. Is it lazy writing? A little bit. None of the characters look original. They all look exactly like every other character we've seen before. Is that a respectful nod? Maybe. Is it lazy? Maybe. For example, Asha looks like a blend of Moana and Rapunzel. Her personality is a combination of Anna from Frozen and Moana. Now, don't get me wrong, I love all of those girls, all of those characters, but how about a fresh face and personality, Disney? Again, I don't know if they were trying to make us think of all those past movies, or they just kind of got in this rut and they don't know how to design different characters, basically. You know what I mean? So woke Disney has made sure to include lots of strong women, diversity, and evil white men. Now, of course, as a woman, I love female empowerment movies, but it seems like it's always at the expense of making the men look like buffoons or just downright evil. And that's the case of this movie as well. The animation isn't nearly as detailed or impressive as we've become accustomed to. And it really does look like an homage to the older style of animation. So maybe that was intentional, probably. But again, I just thought for this 100th anniversary, it should have been bigger and better than anything we've ever seen. I don't know. Let me know if you have these same thoughts. Comment down below. I would love to get your opinion on this film. And then I thought, is Disney teaching children to throw a revolution against the government? I mean, there's sort of a fine line between standing up for what's right and, and trying to fight what's wrong. But then, I don't know, there was this spirit of revolution and it just worries me a little bit. Just again, comment down below. I want to know if that's the vibe that you got. And with the world the way it is today, that just worried me. All right, so let me give you some tips for parents. There are people and creatures in dangerous situations. Now, we've seen that in a lot of Disney movies. So I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just giving you the heads up. There's fighting, there is rebellion, there's no profanity. Thank you, Disney. And overall, this movie is very family friendly. Now, some of the themes that are worth talking about with your children, if you watch this with them, are wishes that drive your heart and make you who you are. And more important than just wishing is learning to take action on your dreams to make them happen. Caring for others, safety, protection. What are you willing to give up? Freedom for security. Now, that's a concept that Benjamin Franklin talked about and the founding fathers back in the day. Which would you rather have? Power, of course, and then hope. All right, so I always write notes, and especially I write down the lines, funny lines or interesting lines, simply so I can share them with you so you can get a taste of the dialogue and the script writing quality. And I have them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share a few of them with you right now. So I think one of the funny lines is spoken by Asha, again, voiced by Ariana DeBose. And she says, "I'm so nervous. I think I'm going to explode." And she has sort of that nervous energy that Anna and Moana have, which is why I mentioned that I just thought their personalities were so similar. And it kind of made me think a lot of young people are going to relate to her because of that anxiety that everybody has now in the world. Another comment, she says, "Is my mouth drooping? I feel like it's drooping." Right? Doesn't that sound like Moana or Anna? And then some interesting lines are when Asha's quoting her father, and she says, "The stars are there to guide us, to inspire us, to remind us to believe in possibility." Absolutely. Dreaming is so powerful because it should compel us to take action in our lives. Chris Pine, who voices King Magnifico, says, "No one should ever have to see their dreams destroyed before their eyes," which is true. And I won't say any more about him in case I don't want to give you any more spoilers. But then another time he says, "People think wishes are just ideas, but no, they are part of your heart, the very best part." And that's a concept that is introduced in this movie, that your wish is the very best part of your heart, your perfect ideal self. Another line that the king says is, "When you are threatened, you do not breathe, you focus." I thought that was an interesting line because he has that moment. Then there's another character who's one of Asha's friends who has a personality similar to one of the seven dwarfs. And he's just sort of goofy. He's tall, lanky, and kind of seems like a ding dong type of a character. And then all of a sudden, he comes out with this profound line, which is a humorous moment because everybody kind of looks at him. And I was like, whoa, that was deep. He says, "Through the heart, we understand the world." Right? That's a good line. All right. So 3 movies I instantly thought of as I was watching this movie were, of course, Moana, because I thought her personality, Asha's personality, was so similar to Moana. I love Moana. I love the music, basically everything about it. And then Frozen, of course. I love Frozen. Who doesn't? The great music. But again, Anna's personality, which is really cute and so endearing. And then Tangled. So I also thought Asha looked and acted like Rapunzel in the darling movie Tangled. Those are some of my favorites in the most recent years. So if you love those, maybe you'll really resonate with Asha's character, personality, and all of that. And if you haven't seen those, you definitely should see those because I think those are just outstanding. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I always appreciate your support. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.